the woman was shocked to discover that the jade pendant on the man's robe was identical to the one she had seen 3 years ago. At first she thought it was coincidence, but when she brought the robe to him, he suddenly dragged her into the water. There she finally saw his face clearly, and realized he was the very man she had crossed paths with 3 years before. Back then she was a dancer, longing to escape the fate of being a rich man's toy. She set her eyes on this handsome stranger, and slipped something into his tea. Under the drug's effect, he was even more bewitched by her beauty, and promised on the spot to take responsibility for her, but she only asked for the jade pendant he wore, and the next day, she disappeared without a trace. Later the man learned from his butler that she had used the pendant to buy back her freedom. It was then he realized he had been tricked by her. Furious, he ordered a citywide search, but even after 3 years, she was nowhere to be found. Unbeknownst to him, she was already the fiancée of the new top scholar, but she herself did not know that after her fiancé passed the exam, he caught the eye of a minister's daughter. The minister invited him to his home and asked if he was engaged, but craving power, the fiancé shamelessly lied that he was not. Hearing this, the minister's daughter was delighted and rushed to marry him. Meanwhile the woman happened to pass her old workplace. Standing at the doorway, she recalled that night with the man, but quickly dismissed the thought, telling herself the city was too vast to ever meet him again. Yet at that moment, from the attic above, the man spotted her at once. His heart leapt with joy, and he rushed down to chase after her. Unaware, she was already etched into his heart. He followed her smoothly to her home. Just as he wondered why she was there, he saw her fall into her fiancé's arms. Instantly, a blaze of fury rose within him. That very night, he summoned her to the palace. She tried to play dumb and brush aside the past, but under his relentless questioning, she finally admitted it and offered sincere apology. To her shock, he then declared he wanted to make her his favored consort, but she refused outright, for her heart still belonged to her fiancé. He did not force her further, but secretly vowed that one day she would willingly stay by his side. Back home, her first act was to urge her fiancé to marry her quickly, but he only pretended to agree, while scheming in his heart, determined never to let her obstruct his career. Days later, the man missed her dearly, but then he heard her fiancé had taken leave to return home to wed. Instantly he was enraged, and rushed to find her. He arrived just in time to see her selecting a sachet for her fiancé. Anger surged in his chest. His guards were ready to seize her, but he stopped them. Yet right after he left, she was ambushed by men arranged by her fiancé. They drugged her, forced her to press her handprint on a divorce letter, then knocked her unconscious. But midway she woke up, thinking her fiancé was still waiting to wed her. She fought off the guards, and ran desperately home, only to crash into the man's arms. She mistook it all for his scheme, and lashed out in anger, begging him to stop these pointless tricks. He was left baffled, but when she finally reached home, she saw her fiancé marrying the minister's daughter. When he saw her return, he felt no guilt. Instead he sneered, confessing that he had never intended to marry her. At last, she realized she had been deceived and used all along.